You just finished detailing your car. The paint is glossy, the wheels are clean, and everything looks perfect. You step back inside, close the door, and then you notice it. The leather seats feel stiff. There's a crack forming on the bolster. The surface looks dull, almost chalky in some spots. You've been cleaning them regularly, conditioning them, using products that promised protection. So what went wrong? Here's the thing. Most people are cleaning their leather seats completely backwards. They're using the wrong products, applying them in the wrong order, and creating damage without even realizing it. The leather care market is full of all-in-one products that claim to clean and condition at the same time. But what they're actually doing is layering silicone and oils on top of dirt, grime, and body oils that never got removed in the first place. That buildup doesn't protect the leather, it suffocates it. And once the leather can't breathe, it starts to dry out from the inside, crack, and fade. By the time you see the damage, the leather has already been compromised for months. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why most leather cleaning methods fail, what's really causing that stiffness and cracking, and the proper system professional detailers use to keep leather seats looking factory fresh for years. This isn't about buying expensive products. It's about understanding what leather actually needs and stopping the habits that are slowly destroying it. Before we talk about cleaning, you need to understand what leather actually is and why it behaves the way it does. Automotive leather isn't raw hide. It's been treated, dyed, and coated with a protective top coat that gives it color, durability, and resistance to stains. That top coat is what you're looking at when you see your seats. It's not the raw leather underneath. This is important because most people think they're conditioning leather when they apply a conditioner, but what they're really doing is coating that top coat with another layer of product. The top coat on automotive leather is designed to be it needs to allow moisture to escape so the leather doesn't rot from trapped humidity. But it also needs to block contaminants from penetrating into the hide. When you sit in your car, your body transfers oils, sweat, dirt, and dead skin cells onto the surface. If you're wearing jeans, dye transfer happens. If you've been to the gym, salt from sweat gets embedded into the grain. All of this sits on top of that protective layer. And if you don't remove it properly, it builds up. Now here's where it gets worse. Most people reach for a leather conditioner or an all-in-one cleaner conditioner product and start rubbing it into the seats. They think they're feeding the leather, keeping it soft, protecting it. But what's really happening is they're taking all that contamination, all those oils and dirt particles, and pressing them into the grain of the leather with a layer of silicone or petroleum-based conditioner on top. The surface might look shiny for a day or two, but underneath, the pores of the top coat are clogged. The leather can't breathe. Moisture gets trapped. And over time, the hide starts to stiffen, dry out, and crack from the inside. This is the part nobody explains. Leather doesn't crack because it's dry. It cracks because it's been damaged by improper cleaning and suffocated by product buildup. You can pour conditioner on it all day long, but if the surface is contaminated and the pores are blocked, that conditioner isn't doing anything except making the problem worse. Let me give you an example. I had a customer bring in a 3-year-old luxury sedan with perforated leather seats. Beautiful car, low miles, garage kept, but the driver's seat looked terrible. The bolster was cracked, the surface was stiff, and there was a visible layer of grime in every perforation. The owner told me he cleaned and conditioned the seats every month with a popular retail product. He was doing everything the bottle told him to do. So why did the leather look like it was 10 years old? I pulled out a clean white microfiber towel, sprayed it with a proper pH-neutral leather cleaner, and wiped down a small section of the seat. The towel came back brown, not just dirty brown, that's body oil, dirt, and product residue that had been sitting on the surface for months, getting pressed deeper into the leather every time he sat down and every time he applied more conditioner. He wasn't cleaning the leather. He was sealing dirt into it. Once I stripped all that buildup off with a proper cleaner and a soft brush, the leather looked completely different. The grain opened up, the color came back, the surface felt supple again. No conditioner had been applied yet, just cleaning. That's how much damage improper cleaning causes. Now let's talk about the products and methods. Being promoted by the industry, walk into any auto parts store and you'll see shelves full of leather care products. Wipes, sprays, creams, all-in-one formulas. Most of them are designed for convenience, not results. They're meant to make the leather look shiny and smell nice so the customer feels like they did something. But look at the ingredient list. Silicone, petroleum, synthetic fragrances. None of those things are good for leather long-term. Silicone creates a temporary gloss, but it also creates a barrier that prevents proper cleaning in the future. Once you've applied a silicone-based dressing, every subsequent cleaning becomes harder because you're trying to remove oily residue on top of the dirt. Petroleum-based conditioners can cause the dyes in the top coat to fade or shift over time, especially on lighter-colored leather and synthetic fragrances. They don't protect anything. They just mask the smell of dirty leather. The reason these products are so common is because they're cheap to manufacture and easy to market. People want a quick fix. They want to spray something on, wipe it off, and see results immediately. But leather care doesn't work that way. Real leather care is a two-step process. Clean first, protect second. And most people skip the cleaning entirely. Here's another myth that needs to be addressed. A lot of people think that leather doesn't need to be cleaned as often as fabric because it's more durable. That's completely backwards. Leather needs to be cleaned more often than fabric because it's non-porous at the top coat level, which means contaminants sit on the surface instead of absorbing into fibers. Every time you sit down, you're compressing those contaminants into the grain. Every time you get in and out, friction is working that dirt deeper into the texture. If you don't clean it regularly, the damage accelerates. And no, wiping your seats down with a damp cloth or a baby wipe doesn't count as cleaning. Water alone won't remove oils. Baby wipes are designed for skin, not automotive finishes, and they often leave behind lotions and surfactants that attract more dirt. You need a cleaner that's pH balanced, designed for coated leather, and capable of emulsifying oils without stripping the protective top coat. Let's talk about the actual damage mechanism. When dirt and oils build up on leather, they create friction. That friction wears down the top coat every time you move in the seat. Over time, the protective layer gets thinner. Once it's thin enough, the dyes start to fade. The leather underneath becomes exposed. And once the hide is exposed, it has no protection from UV light, moisture, or further abrasion. That's when cracking starts. You'll notice the damage first on high contact areas. The driver's seat bolster, the edge of the seat cushion where you slide in and out, the center of the steering wheel. These are the areas where friction is highest and where contamination builds up fastest. If you see shiny, smooth spots on your leather, that's not a good sign. That's the top coat being polished away by constant rubbing. It looks glossy, but it's actually a warning that the protective layer is almost gone. Here's what most people don't realize. Once the top coat is compromised, no amount of conditioning will fix it. Conditioners are designed to penetrate into raw or aniline leather, not to repair a damaged coating. Automotive leather is pigmented and sealed, which means conditioners mostly just sit on the surface. They might make the leather feel softer temporarily, but they're not restoring the protective barrier. The only way to truly fix damaged automotive leather is to have it professionally refinished, which means stripping the old top coat, re-dyeing the leather, and applying a new protective layer. That's a several $100 process that could have been avoided with proper cleaning from the start. So how do you actually clean leather the right way? It starts with understanding that cleaning and conditioning are two separate steps, and cleaning always comes first. You cannot condition dirty leather. You cannot protect a contaminated surface. If you try, you're just making the problem worse. Step 1 is to remove all loose dirt and debris. Use a vacuum with a soft brush attachment to pull dust, crumbs, and particles out of the seams and perforation. Don't skip this. If you start wiping down the leather with dirt still on the surface, you're just dragging abrasive particles across the top coat. That creates scratches and accelerates wear. Step 2 is to apply a proper pH-neutral leather cleaner, not an all-in-one product, not a conditioner, a dedicated cleaner. Spray it onto a clean microfiber towel or a soft detailing brush, not directly onto the leather. Work it into the surface using light pressure and circular motions. If the leather is textured or perforated, use a soft bristle brush to agitate the cleaner into the grain. The goal is to lift oils, dirt, and old product residue off the surface without scrubbing so hard that you damage the top coat. Step 3 is to wipe the cleaner off with a separate clean microfiber towel. You should see contamination transferring onto the towel. If the towel stays clean, either the leather wasn't that dirty or you didn't use enough cleaner. If the towel comes back dark brown or black, you've got buildup that's been sitting there for a while. Keep wiping until the towel comes back mostly clean. Step 4, and this is critical, is to let the leather dry completely before applying any protection. If you apply a conditioner or protectant while the leather is still damp, you're trapping moisture under the product layer. That can cause the top coat to delaminate or create a breeding ground for mold and mildew. Let the seats air dry for at least 30 minutes. Step 5 is protection. This is where most people go wrong again. They grab a thick, greasy conditioner and slather it all over the seats. But automotive leather doesn't need heavy conditioning. It needs a light protectant that enhances UV resistance, adds a slight barrier against stains, and doesn't leave a greasy residue. Look for a water-based leather protectant that's designed for coated automotive leather, not furniture or garment leather. Apply it sparingly with a clean applicator pad or microfiber towel, and buff off any excess. The leather should feel smooth and natural, not slick or oily. If you're dealing with perforated leather, be even more careful. Excess product can seep into the perforations and clog the holes, which defeats the purpose of having perforated seats in the first place. Use a barely damp applicator and work in small sections. Now let's talk about how often you should be doing this. If you're a daily driver and you spend a lot of time in your car, you should be cleaning your leather seats every 4 to 6 weeks. If your car is garaged and only driven occasionally, every 3 months is fine. But here's the key. You should be doing a light maintenance wipe down with a damp microfiber towel every week or two, just to remove surface dust and oils before they build up. Think of it like washing your hands. You don't wait until they're visibly dirty. You clean them regularly to prevent contamination. Protection should be reapplied every 2 to 3 months. or after every deep cleaning. You don't need to condition leather constantly. Over-conditioning is just as bad as under. Too much product creates buildup, attracts dirt, and makes the surface feel sticky or greasy. Less is more when it comes to leather protection. Here's the cost comparison. A good pH-neutral leather cleaner costs around $15 to $20 and will last you a year or more. A quality water-based protectant costs about the same. So you're looking at maybe $40 total for a full year of proper leather care. Compare that to the cost of having your seats professionally refinished, which can run anywhere from $300 to over $1,000. Depending on the severity of the damage and the type of vehicle, or compare it to the cost of replacing the seats entirely, which can be several $1,000s for luxury or performance vehicles. The math is simple. Spending $40 a year on proper products and spending an hour every month cleaning your seats correctly will save you thousands in repairs or replacements down the road. And here's the thing. Once you start cleaning your leather properly, you'll notice the difference immediately. The seats will feel softer. The color will look richer. The surface will have a natural matte finish instead of a greasy shine. And most importantly, the leather will stay supple and crack-free for years longer than it would with improper care. The takeaway here is simple. Leather care isn't about buying the most expensive products or using some secret formula. It's about understanding what leather actually needs, cleaning it properly before you try to protect it, and being consistent with your maintenance. The industry wants you to believe that you need a different product for every situation. That leather is complicated and fragile. But the truth is, automotive leather is incredibly durable if you treat it right. Clean it regularly with the right cleaner. Protect it lightly with a proper protectant. And stop suffocating it with heavy conditioners and silicone-based dressings. If you've been using All-in-One products or conditioning without cleaning first, stop. Strip that buildup off with a proper cleaner, let the leather breathe, and start fresh with a real maintenance system. Your seats will thank you, and you'll save yourself a massive headache and expense down the road. So here's my question for you. How often are you cleaning your leather seats? And what products are you using? Drop a comment below and let me know. If you found this helpful, hit the like button and subscribe because next week I'm breaking down why most people are drying their car completely wrong, and how that's causing water spots and scratches that could have been avoided. You're not going to want to miss that one. Stop guessing. Start protecting, and remember, it's always cheaper to maintain than it is to repair.